sides with a minute's applause in honour of 20-year-old Archie Bruce, the Batley Bulldogs player who passed away during his club's trip to play Toulouse earlier this month. And Archie Bruce will be remembered in this fashion across the game this weekend. The face of Archie Bruce in the big screen here at the AJ Bell Stadium, just 20 years of age. Chris Kendall is the referee, James Child is the video referee, and it's going to be Salford who will get us underway. A Salford side, as we've mentioned, looking for a club record 6th Super League win in a row and looking for a top 5 finish, potentially looking for a top 2 finish. As Brian was saying earlier on, 24 points, a winning margin of 24 points takes them into 2nd place. Might only be temporary, but it would be some statement as Chris Ninu gets the game underway. And Warrington with the first touch, and here's Lamatasi, once a Salford player. He'll be keen to make an impact here tonight. This man made an impact at Wembley. Joe Philbin, one of the try scorers.
Hasn't he had a big season? And he's probably indicative of the way that Warrington will need to play this game, going through the middle. I thought that was really good for them last weekend against St Helens, and the penetrating runs that the likes of Joe Philbin will put in might just dishearten Salford. We'll have to wait and see. I think Salford have got an excellent chance if they can put that element of doubt in the minds of the Warrington players early on.
Danny Walker with a run, the former Widnes player, one of 7 from this Warrington club in the England night squad this year, as Ratchford hoists that kick, and Chris Ninu claims it so nonchalantly. He does that.
Well, he's been...
Generally, his game's pretty nonchalant, isn't it?
Yeah, he is, and do you know, if he's driven, he's focused, he could be anything, couldn't he, Chris Ninu? 6 caps for New Zealand, quality player, really good signing for Ian Watson.
Go to all the way.
Logan Tompkins and Ken Seo on the 40-metre line. And now here's Chris Wellham. Has been a very good servant to this Salford club. Josh Jones heading in the direction Chris Wellham came from. In fact, Josh Jones will be off to Hull 2020. That kick is not a good deep one. It's claimed comfortably by Harvey Levette.
Well, you want to challenge Warrington, you want to make sure that you kick to the corners, because there's no doubt this Warrington side will be conservative. They will look to finish the sets on their terms, slow the game down.
Harvey Levette, just his 10th appearance of the season. This has to be patient for his chance. It's come tonight with all the changes that Steve Price has made. Philbin's not having a rest. Doesn't strike me as the sort of player who wants a rest.
He was massive, 19 carries last week, 157 metres. Really does add a lot of impact to the side, but let's see what he can do in the starting spot.
Lamatasi plays the ball. Here is Matty Smith, another former Salford player. It's his kick, claimed comfortably by Ken Seo. Wellham having to stretch for that pass. It looked to be drifting away from him for a moment. It's good from Warrington so far.
Well, Warrington, just look at them, they're getting numbers in, they're trying to slow down. Danny Walker in particular, every time he goes in, he's looking at the referee, Chris Kendall, seeing how much time that they can buy staying on them. He will get targeted around the middle.
Here's Jackson Hastings, thought he'd seen a gap and very nearly exploited it. Jack Hughes with the tackle, Hastings not appreciating that. And then Lola Heyer gets the kick away, but again, good pressure.
Yeah, well, that's the second poor kick from Salford, isn't it? It's not really tested, not got the depth on that I'm sure the coach is looking for. And it relieves all those easy meters that Warrington have to make, bringing the ball away from the try line.
Luther Burrell plays the ball. Here is Bryson Goodwin. Crucial tackle from him on Tommy Makinson. Part of Warrington's Wembley story. Tom Lynham now. Walker. Here is Jack Hughes and Ben Murdoch-Masila on the pitch from the start for Warrington tonight. 40-metre line. That's the fifth, and so the kick comes in, and Evalds is underneath it, and Evalds gets the ball and then is quickly closed down.
Well, both sides going set for set. I thought it was really interesting what Luke Gale said before the game of how he would approach it. And Salford keeping this game quick. That's what they're attempting to do here. He talked about the kicking game, keeping the ball on the island. And as Warrington give away the first penalty of the game, that was because of an injection of speed on an offload to that man.
He does everything, right? That's not a high tackle. He's not been penalised for that. But it's just lying on Jackson Hastings. The rest of his team, Ben Murdoch-Masila's teammates, are back. He doesn't need just that extra effort. Puts them under pressure here.
First penalty of the game then goes in favour of Salford. Here's Josh Jones. So their first venture really into Warrington territory. And here is Hastings, and Hastings off to Lee Mossop. And Warrington keeping a very close eye on Jackson Hastings. Tompkins now. Lollahea. McCarthy, Tyrone McCarthy back in the side. Once a Warrington player. Logan Tompkins. Here is Burke. Greg Burke straightens up. He's about 8 metres or so out, straight ahead of those Warrington posts. Lollahea's kick, and it's going to come back to Lollahea. He did a good job in keeping Harvey Levette off the ball, and they've got 6 to go at Salford. Pressure coming on Warrington now. Seo wrestling his way forwards towards that Warrington try line. Warrington with some defending to do. Mossop now. Rashford and Walker making the tackle and driving Salford's captain back. Warrington right on their own try line now. Hastings, short pass, finds Josh Jones. Jones looking for some support. Dudson couldn't get there in time, and the referee says that's a knock-on from Jones. Jones incredulous.
Well, they dealt with the pressure then, Warrington. They give a penalty away, then they had to contend with 2 back-to-back sets. And Jones, you can see that he's been penalised by the referee.
Well, the knock-on's been given. I think he's tried to play for the penalty there. But Chris Kendall not being caught out by that one. He's let go of the ball, knock-on rule.
Yeah, but it goes against him, doesn't it?
He's been brilliant for them this season. I don't know when they'll announce the Great Britain squad to go down under, but I would have to imagine he's somewhere on that list of possible players who could feature as a member of the Great Britain touring party. Really effective as a left-sided attacking weapon, and strong with his defence as well.
So Warrington, their supporters who are here in good number tonight, breathing a sigh of relief because they were under pressure there with Salford having back-to-back sets, but they couldn't make anything of it. Here is Philbin. Gil Dudson in there. Dudson back in the side tonight after missing the last outing, the victory at Hull. Lamatazi, and Dudson gets a hold of him.
Well, finding it difficult, Andy, to get the ball away from their own line. And it's nice and simple from Walker. Good hit up top from Mossop on Clark.
So it's with Ratchford, and it's Ratchford putting the kick in, getting it deep downfield into the arms of Niall Evalds, making his 38th consecutive appearance. Evalds then offloading to Ken Seo.
They do link up well in the backfield, Salford, and they end up benefiting as they approach the 40-metre line now. Good handoff from Wellham on Danny Walker, the enthusiastic hooker for Warrington, but it was a good defensive set. Only 25 metres made for Warrington, so Salford are winning that territorial battle.
Lollahea. Warrington scrambling in defence. McCarthy for Salford. Into the middle of the field. 30 metres or so out. Jones. Here is Evalds. Across the field, Niall Evalds. Looking to straighten up. He does. And it was a desperate tackle coming in from Bryson Goodwin. He's making a habit of that. Lollahea's kick. And Lollahay's kick is a good one after all that, and Ratchford has to concede the dropout.
You know, he's a talented player, Lollahay. 17 appearances for the Rhinos. It didn't go his way. Come to Salford and under Ian Watson. Looks like he's enjoying himself. And Chris Wellham, right, look at the handoff there. The big seal area in Danny Walker. Gets them on that front foot, gets them that quick play of the ball that they're after.
Let's go, Steve!
So Ratchford, the shot clock counting down behind him, gets the kick away. And it's Chris Nananu who picks it up and then motors back up the field and bounces off Ben Murdoch-Masila. And not many people do that.
Well, that shows how big and strong he is, the winger.
Danny! You're off, Danny!
Here's Mossop now. Mossop.
Offside 10 metres.
And referee Chris Kendall has penalised Warrington for offside.
Yeah, Danny Walker he knows he's always going to be targeted by the likes of Gil Dudson, Lee Mossop. He's going to get up quick. He's going to try and take the momentum away from before they can get into the stride. You can see he's stood in front of the referee. He's got to make sure that he works with the ref and not gift Salford any easy field position.
Strange decision here from Salford. They're going to take the 2, or attempt to take the 2 points on offer.
What do you think? And it was spoken
Keep
about
the ball moving. Luke Gale, our studio guest, it was the first thing he said. Keep the pace of the game quick, control the tempo. Ian Watson's side, they'll have spoken about that in the week. Maybe using the fact that Warrington have played at weekend, invested a lot of emotional energy before, during and after the Challenge Cup final.
So Chris Nananu with a formidable rate of scoring since he's joined Salford. He's played and scored in each of the last 18 games. And this will make it 19. Warrington have had a breather. Inu into the stands between the posts. And Salford's ahead by 2 points to 0.
Well, that's it. Well, you hit the nail on the head. Warrington have had a breather. And Steve Price probably would take that, knowing that the pressure that they've had, the back-to-back sets, the way that Hastings and Lollahea and Niall Bells are attacking the line, and Ian Watson, well, he knows exactly what he's doing. And if he set the plan out there, if we get down there, we'll take the 2 points. We'll keep on building, set after set.
Warrington happy to take their time, regain their breath and go again as Ratchford restarts. Lollahea underneath it and hands it off to Mossop, who lollops towards those Warrington defenders.
Wait, go on.
Darryl Clark on the bench tonight for Warrington, so
move, done it, Harvey with me.
They'll have him to come on. Here's Gil Dudson now. There is Darryl Clark. Logan Tompkins run from him, but ran straight into Lamatazi.
Hold, go for.
Here's Greg Burke now.
Last. Movement all the way. Wait. Go
big
last.
hit by Lamatazi as Jackson Hastings gets the kick away. And again, there's good kick pressure. He's not got a lot of distance on that.
It looks like, you're right, Bill, it looks like they're going for height, hang time, possibly trying to put pressure on the player that's going to field that kick. And Jackson Hastings, you read his body language, it's good pressure from Harvey Levett, doesn't give him any time. It goes high, but probably no more than 50 metres forward.
Well, this is what interests me here now. Warrington getting a first chance to attack. They didn't put many players on at Wembley. They managed to get the win here. I think maybe they're going to have to do a little bit more tonight if they want to break down and score more points than the Salford side. What have they got with the first set? Philbin gets them in the middle of the field.
Well, if it's Philbin, it'll be no frills. He's tackled by Mossop. Got a bang on the jaw there by the look of things. Just groggily to his feet. Lamatazi, his chance to run at the Salford defenders, but they don't give him any room to move. Dudson and Mossop and Tompkins doing the tackling, and Jason Clark to Jack Hughes, making his 200th Super League appearance. Jack Hughes tonight. Matty Smith to Lamatazi again. Well, this is pretty direct from Warrington so far. Straight up the middle, almost in a straight line from where this set started. And Hughes, that's the 5th tackle. They're bang in front of those posts. And the kick will come in from Matty Smith, presumably, towards Tom Lynham's wing. Lynham bats it down, or Welland couldn't take it. And the first knock on will give Warrington head and feet.
Yeah, Warrington will get the head and feet here. Good kick from Matty Smith, the back end of the set. And as long as the likes of Philbin, Lamatazi, Ben Murdoch-Masila keep setting those attacking lines, those hard lines, enabling Matty Smith to kick to the corner.
Does it look like 5 runs and a kick then? Is that the approach tonight?
I thought they were very conservative last week. It worked for Steve Price. He's got the first piece of silverware that he was after.
And of course Blake Austin's still on the sidelines, the man who pulls the strings. Here's Jack Hughes. And Hughes about 10 metres out. Danny Walker starting tonight with Darrell Clarke on the bench. Here is Jason Clarke now, inching their way towards that Salford line, Warrington.
Release now, 2 go.
Now here's Lamatazi.
3rd. Move, Logan.
Greg Burt with the tackle low down. Look how close they are to that Warrington line. But that's good defence from Salford again. Dudson very quickly up on Jason Clarke. Here is Matty Smith now to Harvey Levett. The Lollahea makes the tackle. That's the 5th. And what are they going to come up with this time? It's Walker trying it, but Walker is held up just short. And defence from Salford on their own try line.
To answer your question, Phil, it might well be that Darrell Clarke, who's had obviously a lot going on over the last couple of days, it might be a different approach for Warrington when he comes onto the field. You talked about Jack Hughes and his involvement and his input in this side. Let's not forget, he's a forward, he's a runner of the ball. He's got the skill set, he can do it. It's not his natural game, but when that man gets on to the pitch, it might well be cards back in the deck and play again.
Salford keeping this ball alive. Dudson to Evalds, it reaches Jackson Hastings now, and Hastings trying to go on the outside. But Luther Burrell comes across to make the tackle and is then penalised.
That's the 3rd penalty in 15 minutes, isn't it? They only committed 4, conceded 4, I should say, when we're in 80, so...
And he's got 2 of them, Phil.
The referee's blowing his whistle a bit more today.
He's a runner of the ball that you never know what he's going to do, Jackson Hastings. He is a threat, he scares defenders. The first thing that's going through his mind, instead of creating that space, he's going to take the line on.
Here's Josh Jones from the resulting penalty. Salford ahead by 2 points to 0. 16 minutes gone, just that Krishnan Inu penalty so far. And Warrington keeping this high-scoring Salford side in check for the moment. But not many sides have been able to do that in recent weeks. Hull the last case in points. Salford putting 44 points on them. Tompkins cut down by Clarke's tackle, so the kick comes in. Jake Mamo is there. Mamo, was he taken in the air? He was, says the referee.
I think Chris Ninu just tugs his shoulder as he goes up for the ball. The big, powerful, left-sided player for Salford, look, goes in, just has a little tug on him.
He just overshoots his jump, doesn't he? I bet if he could rewind that, he'd play it differently. He's going for the ball, but Mamo's forward trajectory gets that ball first. It looks a needless, senseless penalty to give away to release that pressure.
Stuart, it's hardly a touch.
Well, it's contact in the air, isn't it? He's not contesting the ball's already been caught. So it's the reason for the penalty is the contact in the air.
That's a big relief for Warrington then. Get that penalty. And it's Burrell who has the first run, and then it's Jake Mamo on the wing tonight. Jake Mamo, and he's been in the side for the last 11 games. Tom Lynham, the other wingman, had a try disallowed at Wembley. Now Philbin. Just over the halfway line. Warrington just keeping it simple, keeping it steady. Danny Walker, little skip and a step, and then he runs into Burke and Mossop. That's the 5th tackle. Still some distance out they are now, and Matty Smith will hoist that kick towards Ken Seo's wing. Seo claims it, and Bryson Goodwin shows how it should be done.
Well, just as you're going up to the first quarter gone in the game, I'll be looking at Matty Smith or maybe Stephen Ratchford to kick the ball off the field and walk to the scrum, get a bit of a breather. Every time that Salford seemed to have the ball, they looked as though they're going to go wide, but Lola here, Hastings, dropped the ball back off, play around the ruck, taking an awful lot of energy out of the middlemen for Warrington.
Jackson Hastings to Josh Jones now. Here is Lee Mossop. 5 tackles gone then, and Hastings it is who drills the kick into a bit of space between Ratchford and Lynham. It's the fullback who collects it. More action coming up on Sky Sports Arena tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, where St Helens will be looking to pick themselves up as they take on the Castleford Tigers. And big game for both these sides on Saturday. 4:55 arena again for the Catalan Dragons, hoping to salvage their top 5 hopes, and Hulkingston Rovers hoping to keep alive their Super League survival prospects. Philbin's lost that ball.
Well, Luther Burrell came from over the right-hand side to carry the ball. Joe Philbin was having a bit of a breather on the right-hand side where Luther Burrell normally is. And he gets the ball, he's looking to tip it on, he's looking around him. As he's going down, there's numbers around him. The referee, Chris Kendall, says that he loses possession 40 metres from the try line. And I've got to say that the Warrington forwards seem to be struggling here a bit. Salford kicking the ball in behind them. Yeah, there's been a couple of attacking kicks. There is hands in there. He's trying to get to ground, Joe Philbin. And as he goes down, he just loses the ball.
So Salford have possession. Still waiting for the first try of this game. We've just had one penalty, that from Chris Naninu. Lamatazi shot off the line there to make that tackle, and he and Tyrone McCarthy going at each other. There's a punch thrown there.
Well, Tyrone McCarthy isn't normally an aggressive player, and as you spotted, Bill, Lamatazi from 2 or 3 defenders out recognised that telegraph pass to Tyrone McCarthy.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. Is it the tackle that he objects to? Does his head get twisted here on the ground here at this point? There. That's his objection.
Well, he gets a slap in the face, doesn't he, Lamatazi? Then he lands one.
Is this a dangerous tackle? Is a question I would ask.
Well, he's certainly thrown into the ground, isn't he? On his shoulder, on his neck. And that's obviously what's caused the problems. There's another slap in the head following this, so I won't be surprised if Tazi ends up in the sin bin for his reaction.
Sin bin?
Possibly.
Red?
Well, I don't think a red. I don't think you'd see a punch in that. There's certainly contact with his head. More of a slap.
Well, Warrington could do with
Josh and Lama
having
Tyrone
player sin bin. Chris Kendall summons the captain and the players concerned.
Okay, the first instance of foul play is by you. Okay, you have struck out, and that, no, you have then reacted. It's going to be a penalty to Warrington. If there is any more of this, players are going to be sat on the side. End of. Penalty to Warrington.
That's a generous interpretation, I'd suggest.
Well, he's been physical
Time back on.
in the opening 21 minutes of this game. Lamatazi come up with 2 bell ringers in defence. Tyrone McCarthy, there's words exchange. As he gets up, he slaps him in the face. Then Lamatazi doesn't back down.
I think he's trying to affect the tackle there. I know it ends up looking bad. I don't like to see players slapping each other. I don't. That's a terrible thing to see.
Go on, Terry, say it.
No, I'm leaving him alone.
It looks bad.
You know, fair play to Lamatazi as well. He's the first to carry the ball. I always look to see who wants to carry the ball. If the man who's caused the sort of fracas doesn't go anywhere near it, I ask some questions.
Well, Warrington got the resultant penalty. It's they who are on the attack now. Here is Jason Clark, making his 200th career appearance and then knocking the ball on.
Well, Steve Price knows that they've got to make sure that they have a high completion rate like they did in the final. Danny Walker looking always to go on a win. The ball was... says that Jason Clark knocks the ball on as he goes to put it down. The correct call from the referee, so that's Joe Philbin. It's Clark who's dropped the ball as they're getting up to play it.
It's a very fine line between a knock-on and not playing the ball at all, isn't it? Just stepping over the ball. Certainly a lot better this year than it has been in previous years. Interpretation at that time, in that case, was a knock-on.
Well, not the points fest anticipated, certainly from the Salford point of view so far.
But I think that's because Salford have been nowhere near to the standard that they played the last 5 matches when they picked up those wins. They've drifted away from what's been good for them.
Well, Warrington have been doing a good job defensively.
Yeah, and you would imagine at some point there will be a lull in their energy, there will be a lull in their efforts, and if this Salford are good enough to be in the top 5 and stay there, they'll take advantage.
Well, they would. That's the sort of pass that has been connecting in recent weeks.
And Niall Veldt has done that continuously through his career. He's tracked up the middle, he's supported players. Anybody that watches enough Super League knows that Josh Jones beats the first man regularly and can find an offload. That's a wonderful offload. That's only a matter of inches of being perfect.
And those drop-off plays really do work for Salford. When you've got Jackson Hastings who goes at the line, he skirts across defenders, creates the space on the inside for Josh Jones and his teammates.
Salford's top offloader, Josh Jones, offloading there, but didn't connect. Meanwhile, Lee Mossop is hobbling off the field. Well, he's not moving that freely, that's for sure.
Well, Adam Walker is now onto the field. Here they go, they've got a penalty. Gil Dudson trying to get off the line again, as Matty Smith not taking any time here. You can see he's not onside with the referee. Knocks it out of the field of play, and well, they're certainly trying to up the tempo of the game here, Warrington.
Here's Bryson Goodwin now, who plays the ball for Warrington, and Ben Westwood is out there. Westwood, now Danny Walker. Walker, good sniping run from the 20-year-old, 38-year-old Ben Westwood it was playing the ball, and then Walker with the run. Here's Jason Clark, gets the pass away, back to Walker, and Walker has another go. That's 4 tackles gone. They're bang in front of those Salford posts of Warrington as Ratchford sweeps the ball away. It's Harvey Levett coming back towards the post and back exactly virtually to where they were a moment ago, and that's the 5th tackle. Lynham's, I think Ben Murdoch-Masilla it was, taking the pass but couldn't hold on to it, and Evalds brings it away, and now Jackson Hastings, and now Warrington, the defence a little bit scattered. Can Salford capitalise on that?
Well, Ben Murdoch-Masilla looking for his target on the inside, can't get over Greg Burke in Warrington. Ben Murdoch-Masilla, the man who's been penalised, and then he said something out of turn. He marched another 10 metres. He was tough in this collision here with Chris Ninn, who picked him out a couple of minutes ago, gets caught up, then he turns around, says something out of turn. And now all of a sudden, from looking good in attack, 10 metres from Warrington's line, they now find themselves the wrong end of the field.
The boos you might have heard were from the Salford fans, because Lamatazi has just been replaced by Warrington. But Tilaki Akuala has come on. I don't think he's going to be adopting anything different in terms of his approach. Here is Hastings. Bibby now. Danger man, haven't seen a lot of him. Player who'll be wearing Wigan colours next season, Jake Bibby. Exciting talent. As is this man, Jackson Hastings, and now Lolohea. Lolohea, a little step across the field, back in the direction. Here is Lolohea. The ball bounces back to Hastings, and Hastings trying to take him on. And it needed a good touch, first of all, from Murdoch-Masila, and then Jake Mamo to stop him, but they're that close to the corner. Inu. Here is Josh Jones now. Jones winding up and then straightens up. 10 metres out, straight in front of those Warrington posts. Logan Tompkins. Lolohea's little kick, it ricochets, and Jason Clark manages to salvage the situation but concedes the goal line dropout.
Well, he was alert, wasn't he, Jason Clark? The defensive read to make sure that he can get up, down on this ball, tries to get back in the field of play, but just look at the Salford jerseys here. Supporting Lolohea, supporting his kick, he's kicking the ball towards the sticks, looking for Niall Wells.
He's put a few dangerous short kicks in, hasn't it, to Lolohea? And when he dived on that ball, putting his body on the line, Jason Clark looks like he's picked up a bit of a knock. But if Salford can get close enough, they seem to be masters in that 20-metre, from the 20-metre line to the try line in Lolohea and Hastings. They've got enough imagination to keep trying to unlock the Warrington defence.
Jason Clark shrugs off that shoulder problem after a bit of treatment.
No way.
Pass. That was a forward pass, that. Definitely. You know, I've been standing there. When that ball's kicked and someone's going to catch it for you, you want the ball in your hands as quick as possible. You want to pick out the smaller defender in the middle. You want to run at him as hard as you can. And Adam Walker was just too eager then to accept the pass off Evans. Just step back a yard, you've still got 40 metres before you hit the defensive line.
Let's go, back down.
We saw Lee Mossop limping off. I think we can get news of the Salford captain from Jenna.
Yeah, that's right, Bill. You did see Lee Mossop come off. I've been told it's a lower back injury. They're not sure how serious it is. He's in the sheds now being assessed.
Mossop off the field then for Salford, who haven't really hit their stride tonight. They've scored 196 points in this hot streak they've on. They've been on winning 5 games in a row. But so far, the engine is spluttering for the Red Devils, and it's Warrington coming forward with Ben Westwood, and Westwood runs into Walker's tackle. Takes some stopping still, does Ben Westwood, retiring at the end of this season, eventually. Matty Smith to Ratchford. Ratchford to Goodwin, but Chris Wellham with the good tackle. Here's Tom Lynham. Lynham decides to have a go himself, then runs it towards Logan Tompkins, but Gil Dudson is on hand there to support in terms of defence. Jack Hughes couldn't take that pass, and the referee, despite Hughes's appeal,
was Jackson Hastings' defensive read. Here you can see that he just juggles the ball, and as soon as he has that little wobble, Jackson Hastings just senses that goes for him. Again, it's another big challenge from Ben Murdoch-Masila. They don't want to be tested. They don't want Salford to move the ball around. The more that Salford just come up with one-up carries, the easier it is for Warrington to defend.
Murdoch-Masila and Westwood doing the tackling there. Here is Krishnan Inu, joined Salford from the Widnes Vikings, and has been a prolific point scorer since then. Bibby plays the ball. Logan Tompkins just inside Warrington territory. Lolohea shapes to kick, does kick eventually, inviting Seo to chase, but Lynham back there to gather the ball. But good pursuing from Lolohea and his teammates for Salford.
Well, good urgency. Lolohea helped out by Josh Johnson, who's come onto the field. Goes in for Jake Marmore, misses on first attempt, then gets involved again. And Danny Walker just looking around, just for bringing his forwards onto the ball, just directing them and giving him those easy signs of where he wants them to run.
4 tackles there for Josh Johnson on the pitch, trying to add some impact into Salford. Will he get 5? That's 5 efforts. Good signing I think he was playing at Barrow at the beginning of the year. Josh Johnson starting his career at the Huddersfield Giants, an exciting young forward.
Matty Smith gets the kick away. It's fielded by Niall Evalds, and Evalds runs it back.
Surrender!
Just turned 26. Evalds, and another of the players out there who's in England Knights contention. Well, in the squad, in fact. Here is Tyrone McCarthy, once a Warrington player, made 43 appearances for the club after a 2009 debut, and the penalty goes against Warrington.
And do you know what? I don't think Salford need to do anything that creative. They've stuck to the basics really well in recent weeks. Those 5 victories, the foundations have been attention to detail.
By your team now, you're affecting the flow of the game. If there is any more, then I'm going to take further action. Yeah, I agree.
And after the referees had a quick chat with Jack Hughes, both sides have made 4 mistakes so far. If Salford can get rid of those mistakes, get back to that game plan that I suspect Ian Watson has given them in the week, they should edge this game.
Chris Kendall says you're affecting the flow of the game. That's what Warrington are trying to do.
Slow them down and make it really sloppy, get the numbers in, and Steve Price, I'm sure that would have been a part of the game plan. This Salford side will throw plenty at you. You've got to make sure that you defend every set, you live with them, you go set for set for them, but you've got to slow them down.
Adam Walker plays the ball, a good quick play the ball that time. Logan Tompkins' little run, this could be promising. But that's line him quickly up to make the tackle. Good work from him on McCarthy. Johnson now plays the ball. 4 tackles gone this set of 6. Here's Jackson Hastings, finds Bibby. Bibby, little step, Murdoch Masilla clatters into him. Luther Burrell low down. Hastings, Lollahea, little grubber kick from Lollahea. Matty Smith can't pick it up, it's a knock on.
Well, I think the first time it ricochets off him, then his second attempt to get the ball, he knocks it on. And Matty Smith, the former Salford player, you can just see he turns his back. Yeah, the first time was okay, the second effort, he drops it. And Lollahea, look at this, clever kick.
Another
all about building pressure.
This is their chance, Salford Red Devils. What we've got there, 32 minutes on the clock. They haven't taken any of those chances. There hasn't been that many on offer, but what they need to do now, for their own self-belief in this game, although they've already beaten the Warrington Wolves twice, I think they need to score in this set of 6.
Shot clock off. Shot clock off.
Well, the referee, Chris Kendall, saying
this side.
that scrum again, but the
that was invention
was a bit of a
from the scrum player. They stacked everybody on one side. They've lost the ball here now. Warrington to celebrate. But I like the creativity that Ian Watson's brought to his Salford side.
Well, the scrum was a mess.
Trying to outthink and outfox your opponents. But then by the fact that Warrington pushed, it just disrupted the chance that Salford had there to come back down this narrow side of the field here where there were no Warrington defenders.
And that's Bryson Goodwin. A centre is in the front row pushing. Steve-O will be going berserk.
Well, it was effective because it disrupted Salford and it's resulted in that knock-on. And Warrington getting head and feet and relieving the pressure again, and that's all that they can hope for at the moment.
Look, just saw the top of your screen to the left there. Jackson Hastings decided after they tried to outfox their opponents by pushing over onto that open side of the field. All the players stood on the other side, but not on that occasion.
Aguala. Bit of frustration creeping in maybe to the Salford's camp because this isn't going the way they were hoping and a lot of people are anticipating. Warrington making all these changes. 7 members of their cup final winning side absent tonight. But this patched up side have done well so far in the first 34.5 minutes. More NRL action coming up on Saturday, 8:30 a.m. on Sky Sports Action. You can see Manly against Melbourne. And that's followed at 10:35, same channel on Saturday with the Roosters against Penrith. Here is Krishnan Inu. Sunday morning, Cronulla against Canberra, 5 a.m. on Sky Sports Action. And that's a penalty.
Is that not affecting the flow of the game, that penalty?
No,
Well, that was the words he said to the captain. I've not seen him put him on a team warning yet.
back up.
Well, surely some of this possession and this territory is going to count eventually for Salford. Warrington on the ropes at the moment, conceding territory, conceding penalties, and maybe conceding points any moment. Here is Mark Flanagan, fresh off the bench, tackled just short of that Warrington line. Lussick fancies it, but he can't get through. Great defence from Livette and Nakuala. Lolohea fires the pass away. It reaches Jackson Hastings, and Hastings, little kick from Hastings, and Mamo sweeps across, and Warrington defend well again.
High shot here from Jackson Hastings on Jet Mamo. How much confidence will this Warrington side get going into the second half? If they don't concede any more points, maybe score a couple of points themselves here. Good awareness from Mamo to get the ball, knowing that it's going to be probably kicked into the pockets behind. Gets his side a valuable penalty.
But I think a lucky one. Jackson Hastings, my word, he's only a millimetre too high there, if that.
But again, Salford unable to capitalise.
They don't need to panic. They're 2-0 ahead. It stays like this, they win the game. They put 2 more points on the table, and I mean, if we're all honest, if they're finished inside the top 5, that's like winning the league for the Salford, for where they started the season, the limited resources they've got.
Here is Bryson Goodwin now, as Warrington, with the clock counting down in this first half, have a turn on the offensive for a change. They've been doing a lot of defence. Now what can they put together in attack? It's with Jason Clark. It's Jack Hughes, I beg your pardon. Hughes, captain of this Warrington side. Not 20 metres out, the kick. Cross field, but Jackson Hastings is there to gather the ball. Livette with the tackle.
The call for it, Stephen Ratchford then, up the middle of the field. Give the old nod and a wink to Matty Smith. Oh, they've been both sides here. They've shown nerves, they've showed a bit of skill. I say this Warrington side building in confidence. Lamatasi, every time he does have the ball, he's looking to offload it.
Here's Josh Jones, likewise. That went forward to
He's pulled it as well. I don't know whether to be more disappointed with the quality that Salford are putting up, or impressed with how committed and resilient this Warrington side are. We've got a real game here, obviously. No tries scored. Just one penalty, 2 points in it.
Okay, boys, ready?
It is very frustrating for this Salford side, who have really impressed in recent weeks and haven't had any problem scoring points, but they've had problem putting passes together here tonight. And it's enabled Warrington to very much stay in this game.
Well, at present, they don't look like a side that have posted an average of 39 points in the last 5 games. And there's still another 40 minutes to go in the second half.
So Harvey Livette plays the ball. Here is Ben Westwood. Fiercely competitive, even in the twilight of his lengthy career, Westwood. Here's Matty Smith now. Smith for Ratchford, but Ratchford to Goodwin, and Goodwin runs into a cul-de-sac, so straightens it up and then comes across the field and finds Jason Clark. That's 4 tackles gone. Coming up to the last minute of this first 40, and Walker puts the kick in, and Inu sweeps across, picks that ball up again. So nonchalant, hands so soft.
He makes things look easy. A lot christening and a lot of that.
And he's a big guy as well.
He's a huge guy. And it's been a really good sign, like I said before, that scored an average of 9.5 points, hasn't he? In the games that he's played, he's kicks them from anywhere, he can score them. Powerful, bringing the ball away from his own try line.
Lussick's pass to Jones. Just this first half penalty from Chris Naninu separating these two sides. Here's Adam Walker. Just inside his own half, that's the fifth tackle. It's with Hastings, and Hastings quickly wrapped up. And he can't get the kick away. That'll be the turnover. That'll be the end of the first half. And that about sums it up. Stony-faced Ian Watson, Jackson Hastings. Nowhere for him to go. Couldn't get the kick away. Steve Price's side trail at the half-time hooter by 2 points to 0. But I'd imagine of the two coaches, he's got to be the happier, because this much-vaunted Salford Red Devils attack has not had a chance to click. And the Warrington side that he has put together here tonight have really done the club proud. Backing up after their Wembley triumph, 7 members of that cup-winning side left out tonight, and the players coming in have done a great job in the first 40 minutes so far. Surely Salford are going to hit their straps after the break, looking for their 6th success. Much vaunted Salford attack has yet to click tonight, up against an obstinate Warrington side, a much-changed Warrington side, who are looking to buck the trend that has seen the Wembley winners lose their subsequent Super League game in each of the past 6 years. But they're very much in this contest at the moment as the second half is about to get underway. It's a still cooler evening in Salford, and the Warrington Wolves will be pretty pleased with the situation so far, as Ratchford gets the game underway in the second half. Lollahea underneath it, and Warrington will just be looking to continue in the same vein in the first half.
Well, they've still got a spring in the step. I've got to say, Ben Murdoch-Masila certainly putting himself about every time that he goes into a tackle. He's looking to hurt his opponent. He's leading from the front. He's trying to help some of his teammates.
He is, but the number 14, to our reckoning and our stats, Jason Clark has done 33 tackles in that first half and what we've had in the second half. So they're trying to lead those senior players, those big characters in the side for Warrington. They're trying to lead through that defence. They haven't clicked in attack. Warrington understandably are tired, and at some point will have to start to throw the ball, and the key players, Jack Hughes and Matty Smith, will have to get involved.
Wellham has got on the end of that towering kick. He's managed to put his own kick in, and Ratchford has to concede the goal line dropout, and that was great work from Chris Wellham. Almost set Ken Seo up there.
Well, he's got some skill about him, hasn't he? Never let the ball bounce. It bounces to Chris Wellham. He's looking to offload the ball straight away to Seo. He can't do it. So next thing, he just kicks the ball forward, and Tyrone McCarthy just can't get it. And Stephen Ratchford comes to the rescue.
Salford have been very good this season at scoring from this situation, goal line dropouts, but they had 3 chances in the first half and wasted all of them. Once, of course, you remember that forward pass here where they caught it to instantly to one of their own teammates. This is an opportunity, for them to start the second half and show us how skillful they are at speed with their attack.
Josh Johnson then, from that goal line dropout, drives the ball back towards those Warrington posts. Chris Kendall, the referee, back on his feet, having taken a tumble. You might have just seen that in the background as that kick came in. But here is Josh Jones now. Akawala down low. Ben Murdoch-Masila getting through plenty of work here tonight. And then Flanagan looking over his shoulder for some support. Chris Kendall has a word. Lussick to Hastings. Hastings trying to step, runs into Westwood. And again, it's good defence, determined defence. Lussick's pass. It's Johnson once more, and that's the turnover.
Stefan Ratchford.
Great work.
There's a bravery medal there for going hard, because that was an amazing run there by Johnson. He came with every bit of his body, threw everything into that, and knew it was the last play, had to get over the line, probably 2 or 3 metres wasn't the distance he'd make it from.
Move, Chris!
Stefan Ratchford's shown how good he was at Wembley and how good he is tonight here. Isn't the crowd the atmosphere, but he's come up with a huge play.
Good defensive work from Warrington again. Let's get the views from the coaches via Jenna Brooks, who's on the sidelines.
Thanks, Bill. Steve Price came out fairly early. He was smiling, if that's anything to go by. He said Warrington are in a real dogfight. Defensively, they are outstanding, were his words. He said that if they can just generate some more ruck speed, it's a game Warrington will win. Ian Watson, well, he was quick to say that his side are not respecting the ball as much as they should, and they need to stick to the game plan, to which I asked, is that by getting Jackson Hastings involved some more? And he just looked at me and laughed.
Well, I'm sure they'd love to see Jackson Hastings, who has been ever present in all 28 games this season. There he is, Super League's top try-assist operator, but he's not had the chance really tonight to pull the strings for the Salford Red Devils. Here is Lussick now. Johnson getting a good run on the bench for Salford. 6 in a row now from that position. Here is Mark Flanagan. Salford inching their way forwards. Warrington sticking to their guns. Walker onto Hastings. Hastings to Evalds. Evalds, little dummy. Niall Evalds almost finding a way through. That's the 5th tackle. Johnson. Here is Hastings back in that direction, but the ball ricochets and Mamo picks it up, and it's Ben Murdoch-Masila who's invited to bring it away for Warrington again. Just that final pass.
Yeah, there's some urgency as well from the likes of Jack Hughes on Niall Evalds. Never give up, gets through an awful lot of work, saved the try, and again a relieved Warrington Wolves, who were under some pressure. But now it's their chance to bring the ball away.
Well, there is Ratchford. 350th career appearance tonight, including 108 for Salford. Earlier in his career, Stefan Ratchford. Akuala, ball in one hand and then tight to his chest on the halfway line. Walker. Matty Smith has the distinction of scoring Salford's first ever try on this ground back in 2012 against the Castleford Tigers. Ratchford hoists that kick. And Niall Evalds waiting for that to bounce, and Jason Clark waiting for him to get it.
It was a good set with the ball for Warrington. They were making meters, busting tackles, and Salford were struggling with that ruck control and struggling to contain the ruck speed, and at the back of that, Niall Evalds, normally so safe under the high ball, allows that ball to bounce.
Chris Wellham has worked hard tonight for this Salford club. Run from him, and then Lussick. Little kick over the top. It's a good one into the corner.
On tackle 4, is it going to be a perfect
Great kick?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely inch perfect.
A metre away from the try line for Warrington Wolves. On 4th tackle from the hooker, jumps out, everybody on side. It's up to Warrington now. Tom Lynham, big and strong, Chieftain tank.
Well, it's red alert now for Salford, because Darryl Clark's on the field, and he told the coach he wanted to play, put his hands on. Here we see Jake Mamo trying to get on the outside of Bibby and Chris Ninu.
There is Darryl Clark, Lance Todd winner.
It's always,
just last weekend.
He got the award last night. It's always good when you see someone like Darryl Clark putting his hand up saying, no, I don't want to be rested, I actually want to get out there and play with the lads.
Ooh, the pass looping wide to Tom Lynham. Good win. Matty Smith kicks down the middle of the field. Evalds is there to collect, and then fires to Chris Naninu, but that's good work from Burrell. Stood his ground to make the tackle.
He's not afraid of contact, is he? He looked strong carrying the ball. He stood up to most challenges that whenever you run at him, again, he's involved in this play.
It's the Warrington fans making the noise. Walker gets the offload away. Now then, Jackson Hastings. Jack Hughes with the tackle. Eventually, Jason Clark gets a hold of an ankle and brings down the man of steel contender, Jackson Hastings. And Jason Clark in there once more to make the tackle. But Salford just building a bit of momentum here. Here is Josh Jones. Jones bounces off Westwood, and Westwood comes back to make the tackle. Face beaming with sweat, Benny Westwood. Lollahea lobs the kick up into the air, and Lynham has lost it. Lynham's lost it. Theo's got it. Salford finally have the try. The kick, teasing. Tom Lynham had it, lost it, and Ken Theo pinched it for his 11th try of this Super League campaign.
Well, I'll be honest, I thought the first try was going to come in the first half. A good kick, putting Tom Lynham under pressure. You could see he didn't get his positioning right. He just stutters, he goes back a couple of steps, tries to turn around, and Turi Lollahea, at the beginning of the year, he was on top of the chart in Super League for try assists. Skillful player, skillful kick, and Ken Theo benefits from the placing of this kick on Tom Lynham. And look, you can just see Wellham and Theo just biding the time.
Well, Jenna Brooks talked about Ian Watson's words after half-time. He said, respect the ball and get back to the game plan. We saw in the first 5 or 10 minutes, kicks going very high. The distance wasn't quite good enough. The accuracy wasn't quite good enough. But Ian Watson, master tactician that he is, he's got his side in at half-time. Reaffirmed to them what they need to do. They've bought into his instructions, which he is still barking out.
So Chris Naninu, who seemed to be hobbling for a while briefly, but has the goal-kicking duties. This one wide out. But he has been in great shape with the boots since he joined this Salford club. 68 successes from 87 attempts. And when they miss, it's not by much. Salford ahead by 6 points to 0. Apologies if you picked up any untoward language just ahead of that conversion.
Well, it's the Wolves who've probably chased the kicks better than Salford for most of this game, but they've been undone in the end by their own biggest threat here. High kick to the corner, hope that a winger drops it. They have done, and Ken Theo got over, but that missed conversion from the sideline keeps the Wolves alive in this contest. It looks at this stage as though it's going to be a relatively low-scoring game tonight. And Salford's resilience at Wembley and stickability in this match is certainly giving them a chance. The supporters, when they get the chance, will find their voice. They've picked up the cup. Can they pick up themselves here now and get back into this?
Walker returning then from the restart. Ken Theo just reached 100 career tries recently. Well, just the other weekend, in fact, in the last game when he got 2 in the win at Hull, took him to 100. And finally, Salford getting over the whitewash at the AJ Bell tonight. Flanagan straightens it up. Salford with just games against Leeds away and Hull Kingston Rovers to come. Warrington, Wakefield at home and Leeds away for them in the regular Betfred Super League season. Hastings hoists another kick, and Mamo Ratchford underneath that one.
Well, Josh Johnson trying to get down there, putting pressure on Stephen Ratchford, as we see an injury to Ben Westwood. He's getting some attention from the physio, the doctors there. The signal's gone to the sideline that he needs to go off. You get the old head assessed. He is a warrior, he is a player that has always led from the front in no matter what game or what club he's represented.
And the positive for Warrington, even though Ben Westwood will go off and get assessed, Joe Philbin reverse to type. He's going to come onto the game after a number of minutes, 11 and a bit minutes, have elapsed in this second half. He's going to try and lift the players in primrose and blue.
And Warrington get the penalty.
Not clearing the ruck. Matt's there.
Well, they need to make sure that they clear the ruck here, Salford, and see that just a little nudge from Lola here was enough for the referee. And those fresh legs now onto the field, Lex and Lewis Johnson, and also Joe Philbin back into the action.
Darryl Clark, Matty Smith, here is Philbin.
Get square!
Just a wholehearted contributor, not just. He's got more to offer than that. Lewis Johnson now.
Move, Adam! Meet our own.
Just his second appearance of the season in Super League. Ben Murdoch-Masila. Don't think he's had a breather yet, has he?
No, he's looked strong. And that's how you deal with him, though. Joey Lussick just stopping the big man.
Philbin once more. Flanagan down low to make the tackle. Here's Smith. Maddie Smith puts the kick in and Lollahea comfortably swept that one up.
Yeah, it's got to be better, that kick. Trying to dab the ball through the defensive line. There was numbers over on the left-hand side. You've got to make sure you get those 1%ers right, though.
Move, square! Right.
Didn't come off. Still lots of enthusiasm in Warrington's defence, but Evolds is the man they don't want to see running in broken fields. Shares the Super League top try-scoring spot with Ash Handley, 21 tries in the competition so far. That's the fifth tackle. Dudson plays the ball. Hastings again launches the kick high. Ratchford claims it.
High and hanging every time from Salford. They're putting pressure on that back three. Ratchford was the player to collect on that occasion. Mamo, Tom Lynham, we've already seen Lynham fumbled one. Mamo has made his name as a fullback in this country during his Huddersfield career, so you can see what they're trying to do.
Here is Ratchford. Warrington just edging over their own 40-metre line. 4 tackles gone, though, this set. Matty Smith onto Harvey Levett. Levett, Bryson Goodwin now. Goodwin will be heading back down under the end of this campaign. There's Darryl Clark and Matty Smith. With the kick straight into Evolds. Grip.
He's cool and calm at the back, isn't he, now, Levels? He's also got blistering pace. And you can just see them now just starting to get over the top of Warrington, offloading the ball, looking to link up with Hastings. And the outside back's getting in and really trying to speed the game up. Lee Mossop back onto the field now to add his punch and his drive.
Drive there from Tyrone McCarthy. 3 tackles gone this set, and Salford looking a bit more ominous now. Dudson, Lussick appealing. It's Flanagan once more. That's the 5th. And will they go to the air once more? Hastings again. Yeah, it's Mamo who's under pressure this time, and Mamo's lost it. It's come up for Mossop.
And maybe he was just put off by Chris Ninu jumping for the ball. He didn't get anywhere near it. Maybe that was enough, though.
And here's Bibby, and Bibby is held up.
Too short.
And he's still in the field of play. And the Warrington players wrestling for all their worth, and that's an opportunity for Inu, but I think he's just short. Inu thought he'd got over. The Salford fans at the other end of the field thought he was over, but Chris Kendall had a very good view of that. Here is Dudson now.
Move, go line, go through.
Lussick's pass. Jones. Ratchford, Clark and Ben Murdoch-Masila doing the defending. Lussick's pass this time to Hastings. Hastings onto Lollahea. Wellham cutting back in field, gets the pass away. It's with Sio. Sio looking for a second and gets it. The referee has not awarded yet.
James, it is tackle 4. We've got to try.
Chris Kendall
Make sure the
reckoning
tackle's not complete, please. Ball carrying out.
it's a fair try, but James Childs will have to confirm. What's he looking for there, Stuart?
He wants to see whether the ball carrying arm had hit the ground and therefore the tackle complete. Didn't look like it live, but he's awarded the try on the field, so he must be fairly confident all is clear. And I think you can see there it's the non-ball carrying arm that hits the ground, not the ball carrying arm. So that's fine to carry on from there. And providing the grounding's okay, the try will be confirmed.
That's a top quality try, and it's typical of what Salford have done this season. If you go back and look at it, I mean, there's only Saints score more tries than them, and so many of them have got wonderful passages of play, and this will be confirmed here. Makes life so much harder now as this spins, I'm sure, sits on a green spot. That's try. Another tough conversion from the sideline here. But the quality of the passing here between the two, firstly to Jackson Hastings from the play the ball area, and then Jackson Hastings pass, it's weighted perfectly. And it means that they can get the ball out wide here, the right time and space. We've obviously seen one mistake. The previous try was from a kick that Warrington couldn't take in. Here, the Reds get the ball back again. Bussing, wide pass there, and that's a wonderful flick there. Look at the ease with which they transfer the ball from the middle of the field to the wing. Clever bit of footwork, gets him back on the inside of his opponents who are sliding, putting as hard as they can to try and stop him scoring in the corner. Makes it look a simple finish, which is a quarter one by an experienced winger, and an important one now in the context of this match.
Chris Nanu with the conversion attempts, and similarly difficult to the one that he just missed when he hit the post last time. And this one's wide of the target as well. Just acknowledges the words of encouragement I think he'd received from the Warrington supporters on that side of the ground. And Ken Seo, 2 tries last time out against Hull, another brace.
Well, those Salford players would have received words of encouragement from Ian Watson. It'd have been easy and a temptation for Watson to be really disappointed, shout at his players, and I think what he's done, and again, judging off what Jenna Brooks said at half-time, he's just said, look, we know what we've got to do. Kick high, put pressure on that backfield in the Warrington shirts, and then when we've got the ball, let's make sure we execute correctly. Ian Watson, such a passionate man, never stops barking orders out, and we've seen him on the sideline as well. I had the luxury of playing in a Legends Masters game, Lancashire versus Yorkshire over at Headingley. Ian Watson was at 7, Lee Breers was at 6. Ian Watson never shut up, and Lee Breers never got tackled. Some things never change.
Oof, Ben Murdoch-Masila with a fierce challenge there on Chris Nanu.
Every time they're involved, those two, and they come together, Chris Nanu just gets up and smiles at him. So he was slammed to the ground.
Well, Salford ahead by 10 points to 0. And that's a great run from Lussick. Lussick still going, has Jackson Hastings in support. Hastings for Bibby. Bibby cuts back in field and gets the try. That's what the Red Devils can do. Jake Bibby with his 11th try of the season. And Salford cutting loose now, has the dam broken.
Brilliant from Salford, but well done to Chris Kendall. When the break is made by Joey Lussick, there's a little pullback and a supporting player. There it is, but the referee allows play off. And from that point on, Salford are good enough to create and good enough to execute and convert into 4, possibly 6 points. Well done, Chris Kendall.
Playing the game at speed and throw the ball around. And that's exactly what they did. Look at the composure from Lussick as well. He only passes the ball to Hastings when it's the right time to pass the ball. And Hastings does exactly the same to Jake Bibby. Look at this. Speed, awareness, looking around for your teammates. Which side's it on? He knows that Jackson Hastings with him. And again, Hastings, the right time to pass the ball to Jake Bibby. And a good finish. Well, that's what the Salford fans were expecting. They were expecting tries like that. They didn't get it in the first half, but boy, they've got it in the second.
And after a frustrating first 40 minutes when Warrington's defence kept the Salford try-scoring machine at bay, ominously, Salford have clipped. And can Krishnan Inu kick with the boot, having missed his last 2 conversion attempts? He is on target. And Salford ahead 16-0, and suddenly this 24-point winning margin that they need to go to the top of the table is looking a distinct possibility.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting about the Salford side. Most teams in Super League now pick one player and keep him as the hooker. Salford do it differently. Joey Lussick started the game as a substitute. After 34 minutes, Ian Watson decided to bring him on. I'm amazed. Most teams in the league don't do it anymore. Logan Tompkins started as the hooker, but somehow Salford seemed to have found it to work for them.
Hang on, short restart. Philbin's got the ball, and Warrington have it back. Don't worry, Saints. When I said top of the table, I meant second. Saints are, of course, home and dry as far as the league leaders' shield goes. But this second place is still up for grabs. Warrington in there at the moment, but 24-point margin, and Salford could go in there. Such a congested situation behind the Saints in those top 5 places. Bank holiday weekend on the M6. Here is Ben Murdoch-Masila. Warrington looking to respond, and Murdoch-Masila gets the pass away. Darryl Clark waves in one direction, gets the pass away to Jack Mamo, but look at that, Mamo nowhere for him to go. Luther Burrell is with Ratchford now. Ratchford to Goodwin to Lynham, little chip kick ahead, and Seo is in a full race and heading for a hat-trick. Harvey Livett will chase him, but Ken Seo is going to get 3. 2 last time out, 3 this week. Ken Seo for the Salford Red Devils. And by the look of things, Salford are heading for second in the Betfred Super League table. The fans on their feet, and the tries are coming thick and fast now. 13 tries for the season for Ken Seo, and the 5th hat-trick of his career, and his first for the Salford club.
Well, the fans are saying this is more like it. And Warrington, knowing that they were behind by 16 points, the erratic play, looking to score points, and Ken Seo gets the ball, and as soon as he catches that ball, there's not going to be a Warrington player that can prevent him from scoring the try. See Warrington looking to find space, nice and composed in defence. Chris Wellen does ever so well, forces Bryson Goodwin to drop the ball off, and a poor kick goes straight into the hands of Ken Seo. And this is more like it, and now the stadium's come alive with the Salford fans cheering.
A 15-minute hat-trick from Ken Seo. And Krishnan Inu. Two more points to his name tonight, surely coming up. 22-0. Salford lead, and Ken Seo has got a hat-trick.
Well, if you want to get into this top 5 and do something when you're in the playoffs, you need players out wide who can score tries. They find a way across the try line, put themselves in the right place at the right time. Ken Seo's clearly done that, and his 3rd try, the final confirmation, is that he's got the speed to go the length of the field. There was a very admirable chase by several Warrington players that made the conversion that little more difficult, but he still was quick enough there to get over the line. Short kick-off again. They got it back last time, but this time it's safely into the hands of Krishnan Inu.
That one didn't come off. Steve Price. Well, for an hour, 55 minutes.
They were going to give it a go, weren't they?
But
Bill, I have to say the bench for Salford has changed the rhythm of the game. Just before half-time, Josh Johnston and Adam Walker, Mark Flanagan doing what he always does, that toil and endeavour. And I think when Joey Lussick has come onto the field, he's just made them more solid around the play of the ball. The passes have been on the money. Defensively, he's leading the line.
And
I was just about to say, he adds that little bit of clarity to everybody else, and he gives them an extra 5%, although not Jackson Hastings.
well, you can see St Helens in action tomorrow night. They take on the Castleford Tigers. Saints will get the league leaders' shields after the game. 7 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena for that one. And then on Saturday, 4:55, Sky Sports Arena for the Catalan Dragons and for Hulkingston Rovers. Massive match. The Dragons looking to regain momentum in their top 5 challenge. Hulkingston Rovers looking to see off the spectre of relegation. Some big games this weekend. London against Leeds, of course. Here is Lamatazi. Had a big impact in the first 40 minutes, but Warrington now chasing this game. Here's Ratchford, Bryson Goodwin. Goodwin gets a nice pass away to Lynham, did that well. Lynham skips through the first challenge and the second. They get the penalty.
Mark Flanagan hurtling his body earlier on in this set of 6. Got up quick, good line speed. He's on hand there to make the tackle, but gives the penalty away.
Ben Westwood is back out there after his head assessment. Turns around to play that ball, looks at the referee complaining about the tackle. Here's Jack Hughes now. It has been a big week for Warrington, for the club, for many of these players still out there, and of course the players who weren't involved will have been enjoying the big week as well. But the post-Wembley curse looks like striking again, as I mentioned earlier on. Each of the last 6 years, the Wembley winners have lost their subsequent game. Doesn't look as though that's going to change tonight. Matty Smith's pass, Harvey Levett couldn't take it.
It was dirt on a plate, wasn't it? It was dirt on a plate. He pushed up, did all the hard work, just came off the shoulder of Smith, went through the gap but couldn't take control of the ball. And now again, dictating the speed of play, Chris Wellham makes valuable meters.
Had a good game tonight, Chris Wellham.
It just bounces off the chest of Harvey Levett, doesn't it? And just to expand on the point that you made about the winners losing in the last 6 years, well, the losers in the last 10 years have gone around and won. I know we've talked about it, makes it really intriguing and interesting for tomorrow.
Hastings plays the ball. Oof. Inu runs into a big challenge there from Darryl Clark, and then Clark has another go and gets penalised. Frustration may be coming out now for Warrington.
Well, Ben Westwood doing what he does very well and better than most, antagonising and intimidating opponents. He rags the bloke to the floor, stands over him, towers over the top of him, and there's a little tangle. It's hard to see on that replay whether Darryl Clark was trapped in or there was a little bit of skullduggery.
Jackson, Maxter.
It's worth reiterating, Bill, isn't it, the significance of the scoreline. 22 points. We've had a conversion that hit the up line and came away. Another score, and Warrington drop out of second place, and Salford replaced them on points difference.
Yeah, Warrington head for a 6th successive Super League defeat as well, and Salford head for 6 successive Super League wins. It'll be the joy of 6 for Salford if they can see this through, and surely they will now. Here's Jackson Hastings. Hastings for Niall Evalds. Just a surprise that we haven't seen Evalds more involved in the try scoring. Here's Josh Jones. Jones bounces off Ben Westwood. And eventually, well, Lewis Johnson seemed to be clinging on there. Here's Hastings, almost opening up the Warrington defence. It was Westwood again down low. The ball ricocheting, and Tyrone McCarthy is going to claim the try.
It's tackle 5, James.
What does Chris Kendall make of that? And he thinks it's a legitimate try. The ball ricocheting, and Tyrone McCarthy could have his 3rd try of the season.
But when things are going for you, certainly are going for you, a lot more movement in this second half from Salford. You can see there's 3 players on the right of Lussick, 2 on the left-hand side. It caused some problems. The defenders don't know what's going on. Does it take a lucky ricochet from, is it Darryl Clark, is it Harvey Levett? And both of those players are onside when Lussick kicks that ball. It comes off the knee, is it or the leg of Harvey Levett?
And then offside though when it's kicked by Greg Burke.
That's right, yeah.
I don't think he's offside from that angle, do you, Barry?
Yes, I thought when it first played out in full time, I thought there might have been a ricochet, and if there was a ricochet off Greg Burke, as we're seeing,
it's given a try.
I had a feeling he would be offside.
No clear indication there. It's not obvious, is it, that he's offside?
Well, that's not a great angle. This might be a better angle.
Well, it can't be, can it? If you're looking front on, it can't be an angle from a side view.
Well, I can use the white line as a gauge. It's gone up as a try, so it's got to be overwhelming evidence.
Sufficient.
Nearly.
Is this sufficient evidence for you, Stuart?
Well, we know it's gone from one player to the other. From the angles we've seen, I don't think there's enough there to overturn the on-field decision. You know, it's not clear-cut by any means.
I think this is a try.
Come on, let's get on with it.
Yeah, I think this is a try.
James Child is the video ref. He's had a good look at that. Has Tyrone McCarthy been given the nod or the nay? No try. Tyrone McCarthy was offside when Greg Burke just nudged that ball on.
Well, as soon as I threw my weight behind it and said that that's a try, you knew it wasn't going to be awarded.
It's nothing to do with you. It was good play, and the enthusiasm of those Salford players to put themselves in the right position. They didn't end up getting the try on that occasion, but look at them defensively now, getting up quick, shutting Warrington down and trying to negate that momentum they rely on to bring Darryl Clark into the game.
Lee, square up a marker.
And Warrington looking to shift the ball to get outside of Salford. Offload from Johnson to Darryl Clark.
So still 22-0. Salford haven't got the margin they want to take that second place.
Stolen.
And they are penalised. Under 10 minutes now.
Well, Darryl Clark, he loses the ball, but the referee says Joey Lussick was involved and he stripped it. Warrington,
that's not a good sign.
No, Danny Walker's looking for someone to pass the ball to. No one turns up with him.
Go on.
Run it in, kid. I think that was the reply.
It's Lamatasi now.
With me, Lee. Wait. Go to.
Just inside Salford territory. Harvey Levett takes that pass from Jake Mamo. Mamo was arriving there looking for the return. Can Warrington break their duck here? Ben Westwood, little shuffle from Ben Westwood. Now Darryl Clark. Up the middle, Clark tries to sell Greg Burke the dummy, but Mossop and Burke sound like a removal firm. Stop Darryl Clark in his tracks. Here's Walker. Walker's little grubber kick, and it's Evalds who picks that one up. And Niall Evalds could get away. No, he can't, because his opposite number, Stephen Ratchford, gets hold of his shirt collar.
Well, just couldn't get away from Stephen Ratchford, but again, it's a kick that didn't get through the defensive line. They are on red alert. Niall Evalds again getting hold of the ball. Did ever so well to react to that when the ball was on the ground. And Jackson Hastings looking to take on the defence here.
Hastings gets to his feet. Here is Tyrone McCarthy. Once a Warrington player would have enjoyed that try had it been awarded. It wasn't. The score remains 22-0. At that rate, Salford would have to settle for moving up to third in the table, but that is still good progress for this Red Devils club. Hastings, though, launches that kick. It's Inu who climbs, but it's on the last. Inu is surrounded by a posse of Warrington players.
What else you'd say about this Salford side is the character within the side. A number of them not going to be playing for Salford next year, going on to different clubs in Super League. yet they are still turning up. They are still trying to get into as high up as they can in the top 5 for Ian Watson and have a crack at Old Trafford just down the road here.
Here's Aguala. He gets the offload away to Danny Walker, and Walker, Mossop scrags him to the ground. 7 minutes to go as Matty Smith comes across the field.
That's good line speed out wide. It forces the man who's carrying the ball back into the action area, which is the forwards.
Oh, Westwood offload round the corner, finds Ratchford, and Ratchford still teasing the Salford defence.
Move, Chris! Wait, Joey. Wait.
Wellham and McCarthy do the tackling. And it's another penalty.
Too much.
In favour of Warrington. Chris Wellham just slowing things down there. So Warrington tap and go, looking to break their duck. They don't want to be nilled.
Back we come. Wait, he's lashing, wait. Go on.
Salford have a habit of doing this. They're looking to nil a side for the 3rd time in 2019. They've done it to London. They've done it in some style to the Catalan Dragons, 46-0. At the moment, they've got a big nil against Warrington's name, but Warrington are looking to do something about that. Salford right on their own try line. The pass, though, bouncing in front of Ratchford. Here's Matty Smith now. Smith. Walker trying to straighten up. Wellham with the tackle.
He's got hold of him. He's got hold of him. Right.
Harvey Livett. Westwood clings on at the 2nd attempt. Matty Smith making his 3rd appearance for Warrington on loan from Catalan. Inu claims the ball at the 2nd attempt and was then looking to offload. Isn't tackled. Still going, Krishnan Inu over the 20.
He's probably one of the best players for Salford in the when Warrington were going for the short kickoffs, he was standing up because that is one of his strengths. And the talk through this Salford side will be about making sure that they restrict Warrington to that big fat 0.
Here is Jake Bibby, second half try scorer for this Salford Red Devils side. Greg Burke now.
Lamatasi up quick again. Gets a nice last low tackle on Greg Burke.
Some tired Warrington players out there, though. And Dodson selling Lamatasi a dummy.
Beautiful. Was that a step? Was that a step there? It was a trip. A stumble.
That was the South Wales sidestep from Gil Dodson. That was a pass that goes behind Jake Bibby. And that at times has been the problem with Salford in this game. Just moments in recent weeks when they would have just stuck. Little passes like that have gone astray.
The 22 points to the good, so you'll forgive them a little bit. Here's that beautiful footwork. You talked about tired forwards, Bill. Lamatasi trying to make up that ground. His hips were facing the sidelines. Coaches talk about keeping your belt buckle facing forward. Keep your hips square so you can move smoothly from left to right. He failed to do that, and Gil Dodson, well, 10-15 metres upfield. Beautiful work from the front rower.
Here's Harvey Livett into the last 5 minutes. Salford leading 22-0. I know second place in the table might only be momentarily, but it still would be a significant achievement, wouldn't it? I mean, third's not bad.
Yeah, it's the right end of the field, right end of the table, and like you said, the 3rd time this year that they're looking to nil a side, which shows that they are not only a team that can score points, they're a team that can restrict points.
Oh, Burrell's pass over the top. Well, it found Jake Mamo. The crowd thought there was a knock on there, but it didn't work out. Here is Lewis Johnson, the player that Warrington signed from the Castleford Tigers. Big potential. Matty Smith, little chip kick over the top, inviting Ratchford to chase, but Jackson Hastings is on the same sort of wavelength and was there to claim the ball.
Well, that's it, playing off the same page. Ian Watson, knowing that it's been mission accomplished, They did wobble in the first half. There was some pressure, I do believe, on Salford going into this game. Everyone expecting them to win, so they came out wanting to perform. Well, they've certainly done that in the second half, haven't they?
A lovely offload finds Niall Evalds, and Evalds has got the pace. Oh, little ankle tap, I think it was, from Rashford to deny Niall Evalds. Referee says no, you tackled, play the ball, and then somebody said something.
Ball carrying hands at the ground, there's a man on the... Ball carrying hands at the ground, there's a man on the...
The penalty goes against Salford.
Count them off, worse.
Was that the right case?
Yeah, he's penalised him for not playing the ball. He said he was tackled, and he's got up and run off. There's the tackle complete, and he's decided to run off with it.
Frustration. There's also been a bit of that for Salford. I mean, they're going to get the win. They're going to go third in the table.
They're still a learning team, aren't they, Salford? You still feel like there's some improvements to come, and they're in that top 5. They're a threat to anybody. When they click and when they play well, they're going to test and challenge anybody in that top half of the table.
2, move, square, whole way.
Ben Westwood plays it ball, gets up, aching back.
Okay, now.
I could hear the creak from here.
Here's Lewis Johnson. Early stage of his career by comparison. Little short pass. Westwood again. There is no end to his enthusiasm. The body might just be sort of creaking a little bit, but the passion is still there for Ben Westwood. Lynham has picked that ball up. Referee says play on. So Tom Lynham does. There's been defiance in this Warrington performance, but there haven't been any points. Can they at least avoid that fate here tonight? And Walker will do it! Danny Walker chasing his own kick ahead. What does Chris Kendall make of that? He thinks it's a try.
Just check that grounding, please.
And it's the grounding he wants to check. And as Danny Walker got his first try of the season to at least get Warrington some points on the board.
Well, he's got lightning speed, and he's been doing this all night. When he gets his hands on the ball, he's looking up, seeing what's around him. There was nothing on, so he goes himself. He gets hold of the ball, he grounds the ball, not a problem. I believe that he's one of those players that comes into this game with a point to prove. And he's certainly been strong, he's been targeting in defence, but got a certain try here.
It's a beauty, isn't it? He backs himself, kicks the ball. He has got lightning pace and lightning speed. There are some elements of his game he's going to get better at. He's a young man very early in his career, but speed, and blistering speed at that, is a quantity that everybody wants. There's not too much on here at this point. He has bodies in front of him, steps back onto his left foot, kicks it with his right foot, and beats one of the best players in the division at the minute, Jackson Hastings, to the ball.
And that's right from Danny Walker, will keep them in second place in the table. So it's an important one from the youngster, and Steve Price and Lee Brays, well, they know it.
That's Danny Walker's first try of the season, his first try in actual fact for the Warrington club since his move from the Widnes Vikings, and sums up the defiance, I think, from Warrington here tonight. They were not going to suffer the fate of London and the Catalan Dragons and be nilled.
No, and you can put that down to Danny Walker and his ability to regather the ball that he kicked through, but I think as well you look at that stubbornness of Ben Westwood. When he's ran the ball, he's been difficult to handle. He's found an offload, and he's not in here, he's not getting a spot in the team because Steve Price feels sorry for him. There's no sympathy votes in rugby league. He's adding to this side. Sometimes he's needed, sometimes he isn't.
Goodwin's kick ahead is claimed on the ricochet by Tom Lynham. Salford with that try burst, with that Ken Seo hat-trick in the space of 15 minutes, have got this game, have got the points, have got third place in the table, and that is a great result for them. They've got 3 wins in a season against the Warrington Wolves. That's some result.
Incredible start that against one of the teams that would have set out the goals to get to Old Trafford and the big finals. What a great job he's done.
Ian Watson, candidate for Coach of the Year, surely. Paul Rowley alongside him at the club. now in the back room. Ken Seo, a hat-trick to his name. It's 6 wins in a row for the Salford Red Devils, a club Super League record. It's 6 Super League defeats in a row for the Warrington Wolves. Challenge Cup winners last time out, but as far as Super League goes, still in a rut. And still in second place in the table, but they can feel the hot breath of the Red Devils on their neck now. And there are some of the Warrington players who missed out tonight. Blake Austin missing out still with that injury. They will hope to have him back soon. They'll hope to have their Super League form back soon, because if they are going to get to Old Trafford and make it a double season, then Warrington have got to end this losing streak.
I think it goes without saying